Hey Susan, so I've got one of my wigs that have went through it. The lace is destroyed, the lace is stained, the hairline's ruined, the hair's kind of crunchy, it's got like 2 cans of hairspray in it, and we are going to make it look like a new wig, hopefully. So here's the wig. As you can see, the hairline is dead straight. It is shedding hairspray because of how much is in it. This is poorly formed. Underneath, the lace is kind of stained and ruined. There's a hole there. It's a hot mess. Not to mention all of like the hairspray buildup right here. The fibers aren't the best. There's like no teasing in the back. So let's pop our wig head onto our wig stand. I got both these from Amazon. I think the wig stand was 20 bucks Australian and the wig head was about 15 bucks Australian. So this is 23-inch cork wig head that I have just wrapped in the packaging it came in. I took a hairdryer over it and some tape just to really protect it from getting moldy and disgusting. The tripod for this is also from Amazon. It was like 20 bucks. I'll leave the link in the description once again. Ooh, it is editing me. So before we go into the video, just like quick disclaimer, it's 50 minutes long, so it is quite a long video. However, it is full of like wig tips, how to like look after lace, prevent lace, block from like breaking when it's compromised, pin on like wigs with no lace overhang, pluck and completely recreate a new hairline and everything. And it teaches you how to steam, how to straighten, how to boil, and just generally it's kind of fun, I guess. Like there's Vine references, there's jokes, or my attempt at jokes, and I am quite chatty during the video. So this was meant to come out ages ago. There's like 12 hours of footage, so it took me a while. But like finally here, finally happening. It took me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to edit, so I'm just going to suggest you like, comment, and subscribe. Ooh, fun graphic. So let's continue on with the video. So you just want to be placing pearl head pins right after where the lace ends. You can turn it up to have a little look at where it ends and work it out, putting my finger there and just stamping through. We don't want to put this on the lace because there is no excess lace, so if we fuck it up, we fuck up the wig permanently, more or less. Now we've pinned her down, we're going to brush through her and just kind of really break down any structure to make it easy to boil and clean later on. So I'm just starting with my fingers, where I see like clumps that are held together by hairspray and teasing. I'm just going to start separating them and pulling them apart. So like you can see that a bunch of hairspray is coming out right now in kind of like crystals because of how much was in this. And you can already kind of see how much more free and mobile the hair is getting with just like a little bit of the hairspray going. What we really want is to make it so kind of there aren't really too many chunks of hair, because then when you boil it, because the boiling straightens it, it won't embed or heat any of the knots permanently into it. So we're going to move on to our first brush. I am taking just like a plastic bristle, kind of very firm, aggressive brush. You don't want to go too hard with this, but it's really going to break apart the hairspray in anywhere where your fingers can't quite get to it. Now we are separating once again that second section right down the middle. So I'm separating what's on the lace and what's not on the lace, because I can work on what's not on the lace just a tiny bit more aggressively. And I really want to get that done faster. See, now I'm feeling bad about ruining this wig, because if you look here, like, you're not going to be able to see it on camera, but like, the wig has so many tracks. It was like an actually well-constructed wig. And the hairline wasn't bad, but like, I spilled a whole tub of spirit gum right before I had to go to a show. So I just kind of like ripped off the lace, well, I cut off the lace, cut off some of the hair in the process, and bobby pinned directly into the lace to hold the wig down, because bitch was not about to have that wig fly off on stage. Two bros, chilling, lying feet apart, because they're not gay. I'm gonna need to vacuum after this. There is the most hairspray I think I have ever seen in clumps on the ground right now. So that's exciting. I'm getting low energy. Time to have coffee. Now, I'm going into this with absolutely no plan. I don't know what I want to do with it afterwards. I just know I don't want it like this. Well, how it was, or like this. So I'm gonna restore it, and then probably the next time you see me, then I will have an idea and I will come back when it's restored. Okay, so we're done, guys. Like, bye, Susan. Natural beauty. But no, I can run all my fingers through it. There still is a lot of poof there, but that's because it's been in that style for so long. All of my fingers are running through it, except for right there, but oh well, it's one little thing, it's not gonna do too much. Honestly though, like, let's move you out of the way before you murder me. But yeah, now let's actually have a look at what we're gonna do and everything. So, inside, firstly, the construction isn't bad, there's a lot of tracks. But like, there's a big ass hole right there. There is a hole right there. Not sure if you can see it, but there's another hole there in the lace. There is a couple holes there in the lace from where I bobby pinned. There is makeup all over this lace. Some of it is from today, but most of it isn't. Actually, you know what? I want to pluck this bitch now. We're gonna pop her right back on. So your goal is to find exactly where the seam is, where the lace meets the tracks. Because this is the exact line where you are about to pin. So you're going to pin, actually quite a few pins, right in the seam. So the seam, you will see, is just kind of like, I'm not sure if you can see it, but like there's a little seam. If you pull back your lace, you will notice, like right where the lace meets the tracks. Oh god, that massacred my makeup. Oh well. But anyway, when you pull back all the lace, you will see that there is a little like seam where there's just like a thick chunk of fabric. That's where you want to pin into, and you want to pin relatively highly right there. And what that's going to do is that's going to secure the lace on that side so that it does not rip when you are plucking. A lot of people are very scared to pluck their lace front wigs if they are synthetic, because they're like, oh my god, no, it's going to rip. And I'm like, okay, Sally, the reason that it is ripping is because you haven't secured it properly, or you're ripping too much, or you are not securing it at all. Really what you want to make sure is that there is adequate tension on both the lace and the hair. Otherwise, it is going to rip. So if you're not stupid about it and you do your research, you'll be fine. If you are really on a budget, you can take like a $5 styrofoam head and you can plop it on that to do plucking and some styling. I wouldn't recommend doing any updos or anything with on a foam head because foam heads are not the size of human heads. So it could potentially be way too tight and you could be unable to put it on your head at all without destroying everything. So I do recommend, if you can, splurge like the extra $10 to get a good one that comes in different head sizes, and you want one that matches your head size or is just a tiny bit bigger. What I hate about this is I don't know if I'm projecting enough, because I'm also like facing away from you and facing towards you and then facing the wig. Oh well, worst case scenario, I do a voiceover. Now, even if your wig has lace, you still want to start by pinning, like has excess lace because you weren't dumb and cut it all off. Then you still do want to pin exactly where the seam is, because this side is of the lace. It's actually the most important part to secure to make sure nothing rips. There is a somewhat decent chance my lace will rip because it has holes in it, but oh well. It was, at least by my standards, unwearable as it was with that hairline. And also, more importantly, that gross buildup of hairspray. I hate that so much. The reason that was there is it wasn't when I last performed in it, and even when I cut off the lace, which I didn't like doing. But I tried doing like a style salvaging thing after I danced in it, and it did not work. It just made it super icky. Yeah, that is definitely lopsided, but oh well, it doesn't matter because we're not doing the styling. With styling, you really want to make sure it's symmetrical, but like it's plucking, so you good. This is gonna be such a pain to remove. I'm so excited to have to remove all of these pins that I've put in. There's probably at least 30 pins I'm gonna need to remove. That's fun. Now we're gonna start at one side. This is the side where you're going to start at. Some people like to start from the center. I like to start from the side. So I am separating a section that's kind of like, I don't know how you'd describe it, like 2 inches by whatever the depth of the lace that you're using is. So we're gonna pin just underneath, well, peg underneath the lace. Peg, we love pegging. But we're gonna clip that out of the way. And now we're going to take a rat tail comb. This is the only one that we're doing this way because it's going to be the side of the wig. There's a tiny bit of resistance, but that's because this is a very fine comb that is very hard. Now you want to lightly, just very lightly, back comb it. So you're not crane teasing, we're just back combing. And then any of the kind of sections that pop out, you're just going to hold the lace forward and then pull. So what we are doing is we are very lightly back combing it, just to let little pieces of hair fall out to the side. And we are taking some of those pieces, because they will be sporadic, holding the lace down and pulling them. If you are struggling to pull the hair, that means that there is too much in the section. It's literally just repeating this process over and over again, but differently for the middle as opposed to the sides. So I'm going to do the sides, I'm going to show you the middle, and then I'm just going to do the rest mostly silent. You know what, to save storage, I'm going to turn you guys off, I'm going to pluck this section, I'm going to come back when I'm doing the main section. Okay, and we are back. I did completely repin this wig to be more center, because it was really annoying me. I did take the pins out the front because I noticed that they ripped the lace a tiny bit, which sucked. But I also spent half an hour just continuing to pluck the hairline over here. So I'm only this far in. I have not done much. However, the hairline is looking so much more intricately detailed, so much more like sparse, which is what we want. Okay, so I've just adjusted this because I realized it was set up differently. I think that we are... Yeah, I think that you're level. So I've got the section I plucked and I've just pinned that away because this section we're going to do differently. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our rat tail comb. We are going to quickly brush that out. Just a tiny bit. Oh my god, can you stop swiveling? Give me a sec. This has came fully screwed, so it was pivoting. So we're just brushing that back. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take thin sections. So we're going to go, I'll pull you up closer. So we're going to go right here. We're taking about 1 centimeter and we're going back and forth as we go up to get like a not quite straight section. I'm going to, because this is getting really annoying, I'm going to try to get another one of my clips and clip back whatever I'm not doing right now, which probably would have been a smart move from the beginning. Okay, and we're taking the rat tail comb, we're doing like a 1 centimeter parting, except we're going back and forth as we're parting, so it is not quite a straight line of a part, just to make sure that there's no like obvious lines in the work. So as you can see there's no real defined part when I separate it. Hopefully you can see, if not, oh well, you can work it out. And this is less of an educational video and more of like a watch me suffer and transform a wig. Oh, also, this is how much hair I took out of that one section. I'm gonna move this back now so I can move around more freely. But yeah, now we are doing it like this way as opposed to that way, because it's no longer worrying about covering the sideburns. Is this an incredibly lengthy process? Yes. Is it worth it? No. But it do be making that hairline look more natural. Or in this case, just not non-existent. So we're just keep on taking thin sections, that comb it just a little bit to get some free hairs up, and ripping them. And just do that until you're kind of happy with the thinness of the section. Then you move on to the next section. You just take the next section once again back and forth about 1 centimeter. You back comb, you pluck, you keep going. It's just about plucking sporadically and not making it look like there's any lines in your wig. And making sure you really have this part secured. And ideally you want this part secured, but because I have no lace, I'm not really securing it. I'm just kind of making sure I practice caution and pull it away from here. So this is being pulled down. So at all times there's something pulling this down at the hair, and then I'm just ripping upwards and away. So I'm going to probably do most of this off camera in a sec, but like once again, if this was normal wig, it would be pinned down here. But like you just go back and forth, centimeter gap, separate it, tease, just very lightly, and lengthways, and then just rip, 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 and keep going until you work your way slowly but surely all the way across the hairline. I'm gonna do that off camera because I don't have the fucking patience to deal with this. My makeup do be looking fun though. Like, I'm actually a big fan of this new lip shape. It's like, oh, she has fillers, but she doesn't have fillers because I've concealed here and here to make the bottom lip smaller but look longer visually, and very lightly overlined, and put a gloss over, and it looks like a faux lip filler effect. And I like it. And then also the eyes and the glowy skin. Oh. Anyway, I'm gonna go, Susan. And correction. Skinny. So we are back. It is another day. I have my iced coffee with me, because you know, I'm that bitch. So since you last saw this wig, I plucked her. Yes, it is the same wig. The first session was 8 hours and the second one was probably like 3 hours. So I've done about 12 hours of total plucking on her. I cut my finger with the hair, so I took like a week-long break. It's fine, but that shows my commitment. So if you don't like, subscribe, comment, and do all that shit, I'm going to come to your house, murder you, and then sue you for your own murder, because that's how the law works. Yes. And then I've also just boiled her, which essentially you get a pot of water you put on the stove, you get it fully boiling, you put some deep clean shampoo in it, and you boil it after it's been completely like not straightened, brushed out, and it gets it super dead straight, smooth, restores the kind of hair in mostly factory condition. And I did a leave-in conditioner treatment, even though it's not going to behave like the same as normal hair would. With a conditioner treatment, it's still going to soften it, as these are like fibers, more or less. Then I rinsed out the conditioner, and then I just put her in a roller set, put a plastic bag over her head, put a steamer under it, and it got these nice little ringlet curls, which I have very mildly brushed out with my fingers. I've also got a little Party Shop $5 wig, which I've just cut to be just a tiny bit longer than hers, because it was a lot longer. It was like down to halfway down my back, which would not blend in well with this, and then I've just given it the exact same curl pattern with the exact same curlers as this one has. This one's just a little bit less brushed out, because we're going to stack these two pictures. Okay, so the way that we're going to want to stack this wig is we are going to want to pull forward, firstly, everything that's on the lace section, because we want all of that on display. So now what we spent all the time like plucking the front, we don't want any of that to be hidden, so we're going to part all of the lace to the front, and then some. We want the lace and plus a couple tracks just before we are going to put in the new wig. Okay, so I have parted off a decent chunk of the front of the hair. Just going to even that out a tiny bit, because what we're going to do is we are now going to stack it, which essentially means we're going to take a wig and we're going to put it on a wig. So I parted all the way through lace and then some, because this wig is a lot more dense than this wig. However, this wig is still going to give it more volume, and because we're going to fill the inside of it, we'll make it quite a bit larger, more grandiose, more bourgeoisie. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab bobby pins. Here's my little mason jar of bobby pins. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start lining this wig up. So we're going to start in the middle, and we are going to place that right there. We're going to take a bobby pin, and we're going to pierce through both wigs. And we want it going lengthways, because these bobby pins, they are not going to hold the wig, sis. Your wig is going to fly off mid-split, cue a little cracker insert of her losing her wig.
Don't depend on bobby pins to hold your two wigs together. Let's roll some footage from the Abbey where Miss Cracker was like, it'll work just fine. What could go wrong?
I'd put mine in, but you know, I've never lost my wigs because I'm that bitch. Anyway, you want to put it all the way across the hairline. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you reference for safety pins later. So it's kind of hard to see what you're doing, which is good. So that means it's going to be really easy to blend the two wigs. But we essentially just want to try to keep a straight line as close to the front of this wig and into this wig's structure as we can, so we can see when we flip it inside out and take it off where we need to put the safety pins. You really want to make sure the safety pins are on the inside, not the outside, because if they are on the outside, they will shine, catch light, and be the star of the show. And bitch, that title's reserved for you. No, it's reserved for me, but let's pretend it's reserved for you for just a little second. I'm gonna go off camera, I'm gonna take this off the wig stand, and I'm gonna pin everything together, and then come back later to show you how to stuff it, and how to seal up the back. And we are back. I've got this mostly done. So I've kept a predefined halo. I'm keep my finger here so I know where the wig starts, because it blends really well actually, which is really good for us. So essentially, here is where the fall starts. If I turn you, it starts here. All of this is still at the front, which I can smooth over that. And underneath here, I've got it looping around until about here. So there's still quite a lot of the wig left exposed. It's because it only drops down to here. Here is a little hole that I've left to fill it to make it really voluminous. So I had to decide what I was going to fill the wig with. I initially thought that I would use the hair that I pulled out of the wig. If you're wondering how much hair I pulled out of the wig, it's 3 of these, and these are very smushed in here. So it was big cloud of hair. So I almost used the hair that came out of it. However, I thought considering the situation the world's currently in, it'd be incredibly inappropriate if I did not use toilet paper to fill the wig. Now, I didn't stock up or anything. I had a decently large container that would only been 4 rolls into when it started. And then I guess midway through, when the toilet paper crisis did hit, we got one small pack of 8 rolls, and we only got that because we didn't know how long that was going to last, and you know, being responsible. So what I'm really doing is I'm just unrolling this to kind of get the maximum volume I can from each toilet paper roll. Another reason I chose to use this is it's paper, so it won't make any crinkling noises. So where is the opening? I may need to feed this through because of how narrow I made that opening. So we're just going to jam the toilet paper into it. There's no rules as to what you need to put under your wig. You can put anything under it. You can use plastic, you could use packaging that we came in. I've decided to use toilet paper because I have it and it doesn't make crinkling noises. I don't like crinkling noises, but at the end of the day, volume's volume. People aren't going to notice too heavily crinkling noises if you make sure you just really pack it in there. You can really choose how much volume you get based on how much you put in. I'm going for like a really extreme difference, so I'm putting in as much as I can fit. I wonder if people would be interested in me just playing games and screen recording and like commenting while playing it, obviously in full drag. That could be fun. Well, I don't know. Trixie Mattel has full coverage Fridays. I think that's that kind of thing. I don't know. I haven't tuned in for one. I need to. Planning on rewatching one of the full coverage Fridays quite soon. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit any more toilet paper in. That is it. So this is the final volume before like we do the smooth out and everything. Actually, I put this wig on a little lopsided, but oh well, that doesn't, wait, no I haven't. The front just isn't where it was anymore because of all of the things. Okay, so now we've taken that off, I'm just gonna see how it looks on real quick with this much. Oh fuck, I forgot how heavy a stacked wig can get. You know what? I think I like this much volume. This is a good amount of volume for me. Oh, I need to step back. This is a good amount of volume to work with. It's going to be really big, really over the top, really dramatic. I might secure this bump a little bit more, but this is definitely going to be a wig that I duct tape to my head because of its weight. But I'm not upset by that. So I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to seal the pinnage here, and I'm just going to slightly adjust it. Then I will be right back with you for the teasing, the styling, the fun part. Okay, I'm back. I have stacked it fully. I have put the pins in. There are 27 pins holding this bitch in place, so it is not going anywhere or coming undone. Like right in there, it is just, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it is just a halo of pins that I've aggressively just placed in there to hold it. This will not be comfortable to wear, by the way. Like, if you thought drag was comfortable, it's not. These will all be digging into your night and may burst during the night, but oh well, it's your fault. You chose to wear a stacked wig that looks good. And I'm gonna pin it down. You want to pin down decently far into place because it may rip easier because there is extra weight and there's the weight of you pulling on it. So it's gonna be fun though, don't worry. It's gonna be iconic, it's gonna be skinny, it's gonna be all the buzzwords. Don't worry about these pins, we can push them forward later from underneath. Which is why I really like to, if I don't have lace, pin like really far back so that it doesn't rip anything. It's still kind of like, let me make sure this is even. Now we're going to start working on her. Let me see, where did I put my teasing brush? Aha, I found my teasing brush. It was in the logical place where I put this, where I was gently like combing out the curls in this earlier. And now I'm sweating because I was looking for it. So hopefully my makeup doesn't fall apart. I'm going back to an old foundation I used to use. It's a Maybelline Superstay. I went off that one because it was reacting with either my powder or concealer, I'm not sure which, and getting weird clumps up in here and over here. So I'm using a different powder, a different concealer, and I'm loving the finish today. I've also realized through editing, I talk too much. So let's get into the actual fucking wig. So while I was doing the roller set, I made sure I rolled all of this way and all of this way. Because I already kind of had in mind the kind of look I wanted to go for. So now I'm going to place this more central and further back. Because I'm about to get really bored with my... Yes, that is in frame, good. Because I'm about to get really bored with my movements, very aggressive with how I'm doing it. And you're just going to see how much work I really put into my wigs. So parting that right there, over directing. You really want to over direct so that you don't get like a very short tease, you get more of a fluffy tease. Anyway, the fluffy tease is really what's going to add the body and allow you to really mold. So I'm just flicking it up if it's getting a little bit too ratty. And I'm really just trying to create like a cotton candy-ish kind of cloud of hair that's kind of at the top. I'm also going to tease it a couple times just to really make sure it's going to like do whatever hairstyle I really want and to get the extra volume to compete with the bump which we just put in it. And now I'm going to take the next section, put this over, and you always want to tease the opposite side to the side you intend to smooth, just to really make sure the real stank tease is hidden, but still there to keep the integrity and structure for a long period of time in your wig. So you see how that's kind of standing up on its own? That's what you really want from a complete wig. Honestly, if you are scared to start teasing wigs, don't be. Get an Amazon one. They are cheap. You can get cosplay wigs, which are really good to like practice on. And then remember that you can always boil a wig, which will more or less restore it. Like, it won't be quite the same, but it will be close enough that you can still work with it again and get away with wearing it without even styling it again. Taking the next section. So the big difference you will notice between the party wig and this wig is it looks a lot more natural, it's a lot less shiny. However, when we start hairspraying everything, it'll kind of blend even better than it already does, considering that we're black. So blacks just really don't catch too much attention where there's like parts and divides and everything. So it's a really forgiving color to work with as long as you really spend the time working away some of those flyaways. However, blonde tends to because it draws more light, it makes your face look smaller by comparison. Unless you go really big with black, it can make your face look more eagle and push forward. So like very aggressive, Raven-esque, but not Raven-esque. So the back of the wig is the kitchen of the wig. No one really sees it. It can be as messy as you want, because no one's going to look at it, no one's really going to expect it. The only time it needs to look nice is if you're doing like an updo, in which I would recommend doing a rooted hairline. There are some tutorials on the internet. I might make them fully in-depth one later if I'm feeling up to it. But it's fairly easy. It's just aggressively teasing, getting it to like Kamiya split, like Super Saiyan-esque, and then cutting one of the sides after hairspraying the shit. So it's not that hard. It just takes like a tiny bit of practice to kind of get the technique down. So what I'm really trying to do here is I'm trying to tease out the middle part that is in the party wig, so you just really can't see that it's a different wig. Because if there's just a cloud of teasing right at the base, it will hide any structure that they've tried adding to the wig they were making it. So where I want the worst tease is right in the middle, where that part is. So when I smooth everything over, the part is completely masked and hidden. Also, the smaller sections you do, the more volume you're going to get from the hair when you're teasing it. Because multiple small, highly spiky structured sections that are blended together are always going to be better than a couple big ones that total the same amount of actual hair. Accidents happen. How do you think the kids got here? Vine. Ugh, what happened to Vine? Vine was so much better. They gave us TikTok. TikTok's trash. Give me back Vine. That probably needs some more teasing so I can really sculpt that. I'm going to French lace, which essentially means we're just going to tease together really quickly 2 tease sections to make it look like one big tease section and hide any of the gaps that are apparent. So I'm going to be using quite a few duckbill clips in this style, I can already tell that. I should stop using this brush now and I should move over to a fine tooth traditional teasing comb. Just to really do any detail work here and just really smooth that bitch over. I might use a detangler brush actually for the top layer. Ugh. Wow, there are so many brushes. Oh my god. Also, my brush has pink hair in it because I styled another wig recently. Okay, now let's as I was saying, this might be a good wig to like do my wig security video with because it's very like big, voluminous, heavy, hard to wear. However, like I wouldn't want to bang my head around in this, which is what I want to demonstrate in my wig security video, because like I don't want to ruin this once I get her finally styled and looking presentable and nice and like fashion. I'm going to actually maybe mold this all the way up here over top of this section and then bring it like a swooping bang downward. That could look really fun. I haven't styled like a fully sculpted big non-simple wig in ages. It's so much work. God. Why did I choose to do that video and where'd that fucking accent come from? Also, I've got like 2 hairsprays I've got to be, and then I've got like a cheap generic one, which is just going to be an overspray so I can like smooth down any flyaways. That's starting to look good. It's kind of like very smooth, very, I don't know what reference she's giving you, but she's giving you something. I also like to over direct the hair backwards, because when you put it on, if you think about it, you might lower the hairline quite a bit. So you don't want it pushing forwards, you still want it giving you that nice, real, like, voluminous kind of, like, poof of hair. I might clip it there. I'm starting to like that. Yeah. If you're really adamant that you like something, just spray it and blast it with a hairdryer on low heat. Not cool shot, you want low heat, because that's just going to slightly fuse everything without melting the fibers properly. Whereas if you put it on high heat, you can melt the fibers. I might secure this part because I'm really loving that. Let me go plug in my hairdryer. I'm glad I decided not to wear false lashes because they could have just came off. So what I want to do is I just want to spray mist from a distance. You don't want to get too close to it because if you get close you gotta get the crystals, which I had in my last wig because that was one of my earlier wigs. You gotta get all the crystals, you gotta get all of the uglies. And also it's not gonna hold as well because it has alcohols in it, which dissipate and like anyway, the alcohols like dissipate and evaporate, which makes it actually stickier if you spray from. Ooh, I'm not sure how that's looking on camera, but like in person, that is very smooth. Let me see. Can I see on the camera? You can barely see what I'm doing. Oh well. You'll see the end result, and I might just put this as a time lapse because my videos have been long as fuck. Except that brow video, finishing touches video, I really sped that bitch up. So behind me, I've got the wig. I've done quite a bit since you last saw the wig. I have added the little curl coming out the front. I have really flicked up the sides. I've added a few like little fake baby hairs. And then I've added like a little Jackie Cox spiral. Now, because of the fibers of the hair, it's like essentially Party City fibers, and it's also like fibers of hair that has been styled like 25 times before. Really like roughed up, really aggressively teased. This was like the first wig I practiced my teasing on right when I was starting. So I'm going to now add glitter, which is part of the thing I'm going to do on camera, and then I'm going to put it on. And now I'm just going to do the absolute final step before putting it on, which is adding glitter. We're going to get it got to be glued. It's important that it's got to be glued. If it's not got to be glued, it's likely not going to glue it. And now we are just going to mist the front, and then we are just going to let it get sticky, and then we are just going to lightly shake some glitter over her. And what this glitter is going to do is it's going to catch the light. Oh, and it's black glitter, by the way. But what this black glitter is, and what the black glitter is going to do is it's going to catch the light and distract from any unevenness, any flyaways, because they're going to be caught in the light more than the flyaways. I'm putting more hairspray on the back, so it's going to be moving more. And also, it's where I need the most hiding because of the quality of the fibers back here, all being Party City. She should go back to Party City where she belongs. Now, this is the final side before we go into any detailing we want to do in glitter. And now, for any detailing we want to do in glitter, any features we want to like make jut out, we're going to spray them semi-heavily. We don't want the crystals to be too visible or anything to be too visible on it. And we're just going to, I'm actually going to hold it back and just shake the glitter into that curl. Now it is building up on my tablecloth. That's why I've got this down, the tablecloth down, because it's going to catch it. It's not going on my carpet. And now I'm also going to do the curl off to the side and really highlight that in glitter. And now also to further hide the hairline, because the hairline was a real struggle bus. I'm also going to just shake some glitter, isolate over the hairline. I want this loose curl coming out, which is actually just hairsprayed around the perm rod, covered in glitter. Okay, so now I've just about emptied the glitter container. I'm going to place that down, and now I'm just going to do one final coat of Got to Be all over the entire wig, just to really seal in that glitter and make sure it doesn't piss me off later. If my voice does not sound like smooth as normal, I am cinched. Not as much as I normally cinch, but enough where I can still like do work for like wig styling and stuff. Okay, that's sealed enough. Okay, so that's sealed enough. I'm gonna let her dry and put her on off camera, and I will be right back. So we're back. I'm absolutely loving the wig. Like, here is the final look. I guess I'll just show you. It was really a trial, a tribulation, a lot of work. But I like the result. It looks very, I guess, big, very drag, very nice. The one thing I will say about this wig is I am actively in pain wearing this. Because of how heavy it is. I've got 2 bobby pins, which is holding it on, holding into the duct tape that I had on my head earlier. There is duct tape pulling at my hairline of this. Other than that, I really like the wig. I'm definitely going to get used to having it on my hairline, because, like, that's what happens. I duct tape all my wigs. This one's just a really, really, really heavy style to duct tape. It's like I'm constantly, like, it's kind of like the pressure of constantly cartwheeling, so it isn't a good wig for dance, especially, because it will rip out your hair. It'll be fun, but no, this is very painful to wear. I'm going to endure it because, like, beauty is pain, and I've got some videos to film. I'm gonna get to filming them, so I've got a Canvas Drag Race cast reaction, an All Stars cast reaction, and I've got some Sims content coming out soon. But you didn't hear that from me anyway. Bye, Susan.